Hey everybody, today we're gonna have a tournament showdown. This one's gonna be ZeroFuse playing as Patchouli. He's gonna be facing off against Genki, who's gonna be playing as Youmu. So let's get right in and take a look at their decks. So as you can see from ZeroFuse's deck, very non-traditional. He's bringing Tengu fans and Diamond Hardness. Tengu fans supposedly to make Patchy have faster speed in neutral, and Diamond Hardness, I suppose he brings it to this matchup because it might be easier to play against Youmu in neutral if you have super armor. Aside from that, he does have satellites. He's got a couple of Noakian Deluges, which are very good pressure tools. He's got Jellyfish, or Princess Jellyfish. Jellyfish Bubble? Whatever it's called. Yeah, and I guess the concept behind this deck is kind of to help him out at winning with neutral, especially with Diamond Hardness and the Jellyfish Bubble. As far as Genki goes, he also does have fairly interesting deck. He does have 4 of the Reflectors. Now, those are going to help him out in neutral with reflecting Patchouli's Fireballs, which will definitely be huge. Aside from that, he is bringing quite a few clones. He's got 6 in total, 3 of the 2 costs and 5 of the 3 costs, or other way around. And then he's also got 1 Nirvana and a few Rekkas. So, yeah, fairly unconventional. Let's see how it works. Let's jump right in. So, based on the way that I see these decks building up, especially for ZeroFuse, I think he's actually going to have a lot of trouble escaping pressure. Even though he does have Diamond Hardness, and he does have the Jellyfish card, he doesn't actually have anything like a Hangeki or a Coin, which can be so huge against Youmu. But unfortunately, because he doesn't have that, he's really going to have to work on just border escaping. Now, as far as neutral goes, it looks like Genki is playing this a little bit defensively. Ooh, and right there, that was a really good maneuver. Sometimes Youmu jumps up and makes it seem like she's about to do a J6A, and then she actually catches the lack of border escape, because you input the border escape in prediction of the J6A, right? So she does J2A, which doesn't hit, so you can't border escape it, and then when you backdash, she actually follows up with 2C to catch you. It's a really good move. But yeah, Genki playing very, very patiently in neutral, waiting for Reflector to do all the work for him, but really, I'm not sure it's going to be that good of a strategy. A lot of what Patchouli can do in neutral, I think ZeroFuse does this a lot himself, is she plays a lot like Iku or Yukari might, in the sense that she will kind of go into the air, spam some bullets, and just kind of, I don't know, rotate away from the opponent. And whenever she gets too close to Youmu, she's got really big disjointed melee hitboxes which can keep her safe, especially J6A and J8A. And I don't know, I think for Youmu, she's got to do a really good job of controlling spacing in this matchup. And if she doesn't, she really can't get past that. And yeah, I don't think what Genki is doing here has actually done too good of a job of controlling neutral spacing. So let's see if he does any better here. So yeah, right here, he's really just getting spaced out. His bullets don't have the same density as Patchouli, so he really has to respect a lot in neutral before he jumps in. And I don't know, it's making it difficult for Genki, but here's the pressure, and here's somewhere where I think it's going to be very difficult for ZeroFuse to escape. Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage and pressure. Even if he did have system cards to help him, it is Mountain Vapor, which makes it typically harder to defend. Although, I will say one thing, in Mountain Vapor, you can actually safely test whether or not you have a defensive system card just by holding back and pressing a spell card, or yeah, pressing the spell card button when you're in block stun. If it's like a Coin or a Hangeki, you'll just use it immediately. Otherwise, you have a spell card or a skill. Ooh, and a great use of the Harvester right there. Reversals are such a good idea to bring against Youmu, especially if you know that the Youmu is going to be doing a lot of Rekka, because basically a reversal can invalidate Rekka entirely. Once you get past the second hit, if she does another hit, bam, reversal. There's nothing Youmu can really do to stop that. And even if she doesn't do the third hit, she still has so much recovery on the second hit of the Rekka, you can typically still get away with the reversal. So yeah, ZeroFuse taking that pretty decisively, and actually, going into the second game, Genki will be switching up his deck a little bit, so he'll be getting rid of, he'll be getting rid of the Reflector, and he'll actually be bringing Phosphoric Slash. And he's also going to be bringing 2 coins, I think, which is a good idea because he was having a bit of trouble there in pressure. So aside from that, the deck does look fairly the same, so let's hop back into the second game, see if it helps him out. Alright, wow, interesting, just J6C at the beginning. Okay, and ZeroFuse actually using the Spring Wind on Wake Up to try to push Genki out. But Genki, and especially I think Youmu in general, is going to be pretty immune to that kind of strategy because of how fast her dash speed is. Alright, Genki chicken blocking to get into a better position in neutral, and yeah, there. Works out perfectly for him. Especially a lot of characters like Patchouli, they have a difficult time doing air pressure, so if you can chicken block, it'll typically put you into a better situation to actually follow up in neutral with. Jellyfish Princess, really ZeroFuse just stalling out the neutral situation here. Typhoon on the clock. Typhoon off the clock. And yeah, Genki, I think this chicken blocking is not working just because he isn't actually using it to find situations to jump in. Genki is playing this very, very passively. If you see, he's kind of... His strategy is, if you take a look at how he's playing it, every time before he jumps in, see like there he backed away, he is looking to actually get a hit with a bullet before he jumps in. He will not really approach without it unless he's already knocked down ZeroFuse. And I think if you're trying to win bullet wars against Patchouli, you're gonna have a very difficult time. I mean there you see Genki runs away, because he knows that he doesn't have a bullet on top of Patchouli. He's chicken blocking because he knows he doesn't have a bullet. And wow, that actually worked there because that's a grazable move. But yeah, I think you have to play a lot riskier against Patchouli, and that DP was such a big mistake! But Genki comes back from it. I thought that was actually going to cost him the round. So yeah, Genki's stuck in pressure here. He does have a DP he can be using. He can even just put it at the top of his deck to kind of make ZeroFuse respect a little bit more. Doesn't actually have to use it. Genki playing very, very cautiously in neutral here. Waiting before he's got either the bullet like from 2B on top of them, or he snipes out with 6C, or 2-2B. Really, aside from that, he refuses to go in. And I think the reason why that strategy isn't working is, look at kind of Genki's movement pattern, right? So if you look at how Genki's moving around, a lot of his movement is just very horizontal. He's not controlling vertical spacing very well. I think partly that's because Yomu's flight is so expensive, but also I think Genki just isn't really doing too good of a job here. I mean, you'll see in neutral, Genki will dash across the screen, but ZeroFuse will just go into the air, and then, how's Genki gonna follow? J8A? It's probably just gonna get blocked or beaten by 5C. Good pressure here. I think definitely ZeroFuse could have border escaped much earlier. There were a lot of situations against, especially 3A, where he could have border escaped. And even against clones, you can still border escape. It's a bit harder, but if you border escape clones, whenever she does a, something like a FAR 2A or a FAR 5A, it's a little bit dangerous, but you can typically get away with it. Especially if Yomu's staggering. So Diamond Dust here, but there's probably not going to be enough HP for a knockdown to really matter, unless they drop a conversion. ZeroFuse also holding on to Royal Flare, so if Genki's not careful with his spirit management, Royal Flare will actually crush him basically anywhere on the screen. And I think Genki knows that. He's playing very patiently here. And yeah, there, really big mistake that ZeroFuse made. He border escaped a bullet. If you border escape a bullet, it's pretty much always going to be a melee follow-up to it. And as a result of that, border escaping a bullet pretty much always causes you to get caught. And yeah, Genki does take it there. I think Genki's not necessarily playing neutral much better than he was before, but something that ZeroFuse is having a lot more difficulty with is actually escaping in pressure, and that's where most of ZeroFuse's damage, as far as the damage he's taking, is coming from. And actually, to respond to that, ZeroFuse will be switching up his deck as well. You see, he is being a lot more defensive. He's bringing 2 coins. Coins very good, especially against Rekka. Genki also very good against Rekka. And really, he's also bringing Silent Celine, which is an even stronger reversal than the Harvester he was bringing out before. And most importantly, he's bringing Satellite Sunflower. And what Satellite's going to allow him to do is it's going to allow him to be a lot more kind of safe in neutral. He's not going to have to worry about getting caught and put into the corner as much against Genki's pressure, especially if he makes like especially if we whiff something in neutral. So I think, it's interesting how both players have adapted their decks throughout the set. You can see they're both very, like, fearful choices, right? It's like, the decision that they made to change their deck was actually a decision based on fear of getting put into pressure or losing neutral. And they're much safer decks, I think. Genki was bringing reflectors and ZeroFuse was bringing Tengu fans, so this is much safer. Ooh, Genki actually staggering with 3A into 6A. And I think ZeroFuse, the reason why he's actually having to deal with that is because he's just not showing Genki that he's willing to border escape as much as he should be. And, good job on Genki for conditioning him as well into not doing so, because with those J2A 2Cs, he's actually done a really good job of making ZeroFuse stop and think about when he border escapes. And yeah, clones are going to be devastating here. Typhoon. And ZeroFuse does not have enough HP to make a comeback unless he spaces this really well. Yeah, he is trying to stall out and run away actually here. But I think Genki will be able to take it. And yeah, there it is. Genki coming into this round with a much better card lead as well. It's going to be huge. Because, I mean, none of ZeroFuse's meter here is usable except for Hangeki, while Genki can use all of his meter. But Genki dropping two pretty important conversions, but he does actually get really good AUBs, but he misses the last one, and that actually causes him to get put into a worse neutral situation. Alright, ZeroFuse, kind of consistently, you can see he's having difficulty doing Okizeme against Youmu. I think partly that's because Patchouli has slow flight, but another reason why is just because of how fast and unpredictable Yomu's ground tech is, and as soon as she ground tech, she can jump out very quickly. Genki again dropping a combo there, Diamond Dust, and he actually baits out the Celine. So this is going to be a huge knockdown, and I don't really see ZeroFuse making a comeback in this round from it. Unless ZeroFuse is able to escape very, very convincingly, he's going to take a lot of chip damage here. And Rekka's actually are really good for that reason. Even if you block them, you get chip damage, so if you're at low HP, or if your opponent's at low HP, Rekka's are typically not a bad idea, just to kind of whittle down that last bit of HP. And yes, wow, that was actually... I think Genki definitely overextended there. He should have known that the J2A was coming, and not tried to mash out there. But yeah, ZeroFuse, low HP, but he's actually not that low HP to where he can't make a comeback, because Genki's also got really tragic HP, but there's a good Rekka catch, and that seals the game. So yeah, if we go back and take a look at how everything developed, I think ZeroFuse made an intelligent decision, but it was a little bit too late. He was getting tagged by pressure pretty much all three of the games there. Those were the majority of the damage he was taking was coming from. And bringing coins and satellite to deal with that, and Hangeki as well, is an excellent decision, but just sort of, I think he didn't have enough time to adjust to using his new deck. He never used satellite. He whiffed the only reversal he tried to use. He never got any Hangekis off, and I didn't see much coin usage out of him. So he had a very difficult time defending. And Genki, on the other hand, I don't think had much problem with defense against ZeroFuse, but I think he had a lot of problems really in neutral. Where Genki was really getting screwed up is he was doing a lot of horizontal, like side-to-side full-screen ground movement that wasn't really putting any pressure whatsoever on ZeroFuse, because ZeroFuse would just jump out J5C and then wait for a better opportunity to come back down. And I mean, Genki's kind of patient neutral game, where he was just using J6C, 22B, and J2B to kind of wait for an opportunity where ZeroFuse is forced to block a bullet. It's a very risky strategy because against Patchouli, her bullet game is just so much superior. If I were Genki, I might consider actually running the Alt 2-2, which really is very dense and strong in this matchup, just because it's able to screen out a lot of Patchouli's bullets. I think it's able to provide a lot more much-needed control of the bullet game. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown. and great set by both players. This wasn't a tournament, so both of them were definitely playing a lot more competitively, and I hope you all enjoyed this analysis, so have a great night. I'll see you all later.